The courtroom falls dead silent as the daughter of Kody Brown, her voice trembling but firm, pulls a folded piece of paper from her pocket. "This is the journal entry I wrote when I was 13, she says, eyes locked on her father. "Every scene we filmed, every emotion I faked, every time I was told to smile while inside I was breaking, it's all here." "And you never paid me a dime?" The judge leans forward. Kody's eyes dart between the lawyers. Robin grips the edge of her chair. What was once a show about family unity has now turned into a televised trial about exploitation, betrayal, and years of secrets buried in production contracts. What happens when reality TV turns into real-life legal warfare and the kids start telling the truth? Tell us in the comments. Should the kids have been paid from day one, or were they just along for the ride? The camera shutters flash across the courtroom hallway like a thunderstorm. Christine, standing outside the courthouse, has her arms wrapped around her daughter, now 19 years old, who is holding a legal folder stamped with bold red ink, "Petition for restitution, unpaid labor claim." Inside the folder, evidence, years of it, call sheets, filming schedules, contracts, emails from TLC producers, notes scribbled in the margins of a worn-out diary. A calendar with red X's marked every day she filmed, from the age of 9 to 18, and not once. She says, "Did she receive a paycheck?" Kody, meanwhile, walks into court from the opposite side, flanked by Robin and his attorney. He's calm, too calm, like he's still playing a role, the confident patriarch who believes the cameras owe him everything. But behind that calm, there's a flicker of panic. Because deep down, he knows something was overlooked. Christine's daughter, referred to in court documents only by her initials, CB, isn't asking for sympathy. She's asking for justice. She's asking why she and her siblings were told this was a family opportunity when only one name showed up on the paychecks: Kody's. In opening statements, the lawyer representing CB lays it out plainly for the jury. This isn't about a family show. It's about unpaid child labor, emotional manipulation, and contracts designed to exploit minors under the guise of fatherly guidance. And for the first time, the courtroom sees the show from a different angle, through the eyes of the children who never signed up for the spotlight. Kody shifts uncomfortably. Robin whispers something to him, but his gaze lingers on the back of the courtroom, where Christine sits quietly, her hands clenched. The prosecution begins calling their first witnesses: a former TLC assistant producer, a child labor law expert, and, shockingly, one of Kody's own sons. His voice cracks as he takes the stand. My dad would say, "This is for the family," he begins. But every time a check came, it didn't feel like it was for all of us. He pauses, takes a shaky breath, and continues. "I never saw a penny. Not once." The jury listens, stone-faced. As court adjourns for the day, a quiet murmur builds among reporters outside. A podcast leaks a rumor. There's a deleted scene from season 12 where the kids confront Kody about money, but it was allegedly cut before airing. When Christine hears this, her lawyer makes a move that sends shockwaves through production. They subpoena the TLC raw footage archives, and that's when things begin to spiral. The next morning, the courthouse feels different. Heavier. The air is thick with tension as reporters swarm the steps, shouting questions about the TLC subpoena. Inside, the mood is electric. Every whisper echoes like thunder. Christine's daughter, CB, sits beside her attorney, clutching that same worn-out journal, while Kody enters with Robin, his expression somewhere between fury and disbelief. Judge Anderson enters. The gavel slams once. Court is now in session. TLC's legal team, in their sharp navy suits, wheel in 4 hard drives marked Season 10-17 Raw Footage. Producers avoid eye contact with Kody. For years, this material was locked away under confidentiality clauses. And now, it's evidence. The courtroom projector flickers on. The first clip plays. It's grainy, unedited, showing the family in Flagstaff. A young CB sits on the porch with her siblings, visibly exhausted as cameras hover nearby. Kody, off-screen, says sharply, "Come on, smile." "We're rolling!" CB forces a grin. The room goes silent. Her lawyer pauses the footage and faces the jury. "Ladies and gentlemen, this is what family entertainment looked like behind the scenes. This isn't a moment of joy. It's a moment of control." Kody's jaw tightens. Robin looks away. Christine quietly wipes a tear. Sometimes, silence tells the story louder than words ever could. The second clip is even more damning. It shows a teenage CB arguing with a TLC producer, saying she doesn't want to film her birthday because it doesn't feel real anymore. The producer, glancing nervously at Kody, whispers, "You'll make your dad upset if you refuse." The jury gasps. Robin buries her face in her hands. CB's voice, trembling but clear, cuts through the room. "That day," she says to the judge, "was the last time I celebrated my birthday without a camera in my face." The footage stops. Her attorney steps forward. "Your Honor, we are establishing a pattern, one that shows years of coerced participation, without compensation, under direct supervision of a parent figure who financially benefited." Kody suddenly stands. "That's a lie. They wanted to be on the show." The judge slams the gavel. "Sit down, Mr. Brown, or I'll hold you in contempt," the crowd murmurs. The tension is unbearable. As the defense regains composure, Robin grabs Kody's arm, whispering, "You're making it worse." He shakes her off, his face flushed. For once, Kody Brown, the man who controlled every storyline, realizes he's no longer the director here. He's the accused. Later that afternoon, the court calls its next witness, a former TLC accountant named Melanie Harris. Nervously flipping through old ledgers, she testifies, "Every season, Kody's name appeared as the sole recipient of cast payments. There were no separate accounts for the children. None." The lawyer presses her, "Did the network ever discuss paying the children directly?" "Yes," she replies. But Kody insisted he would handle it personally. He said the money went toward family expenses. The words, "handle it personally," echo in Christine's mind like a taunt. She remembers the nights she'd ask about paychecks, and Kody would dismiss her with that same phrase. The prosecution then projects a copy of an internal TLC memo. Subject, Brown family payment distribution. At the bottom, Kody's electronic signature. Next to it, a handwritten note in blue ink. "All funds consolidated through me. Will distribute fairly," CB whispers. He never did. The entire courtroom can feel the collapse beginning. The myth of a shared family empire crumbling under the weight of truth. When recess is called, reporters rush to Christine. She doesn't speak. Instead, she holds up her daughter's journal and says softly, "The truth was written years ago. We just never had the courage to read it." Inside, Kody and Robin argue quietly with their lawyer. Robin's mascara is streaked. Kody's voice is sharp. "They're trying to ruin everything we built." His lawyer replies, "You built it on them, Kody." The next morning, something unexpected happens. One of TLC's own producers, a man named Mark Jensen, volunteers to testify. He's nervous, hands shaking, but his conscience seems heavier than his fear. He clears his throat. "We were told not to record certain moments," he says. But sometimes the cameras were still rolling. Kody didn't know. The judge narrows his eyes. "And what did those moments show, Mr. Jensen?" Mark swallows hard. "Verbal pressure, emotional manipulation, the kids begging to stop filming, and Kody yelling at crew members to delete the takes." Gasps ripple through the courtroom. Christine's attorney requests those hidden files. The judge nods. "Produce them." That night, Christine and her daughter wait outside the courthouse. The sun has set and the media trucks hum in the background. Reporters whisper about what the new tapes might reveal. Christine looks at her daughter and says, "Tomorrow will hurt, but it'll also heal." CB nods. "He can't silence us anymore." The next day, a hush falls over the courtroom as the hidden files play. The footage is raw, almost too painful to watch. Kids crying off camera, a producer apologizing, Kody pacing furiously, shouting, "You think you can quit? You don't quit family." Every word lands like a hammer. The audience isn't watching a father now. They're watching a man unravel in real time. Kody slams his hands on the table, shouting, "That footage was never supposed to air." The judge replies coldly, "It's not airing, Mr. Brown. It's evidence." The gavel falls. Court adjourns for the day. Christine's daughter stares at her father for a long moment before whispering, "You turned our lives into a paycheck." And Kody, and for the first time, has no words. As he exits, a producer stops him quietly. "They found another drive," he says. One labeled Season 1, The Beginning. Kody freezes mid-step, because that's where it all started, and where the truth might finally destroy him. The courtroom is packed beyond capacity. The energy inside is unlike anything that's come before. Tense, electric, almost suffocating. Even the air feels charged. Cameramen, journalists, and curious locals fill the back rows. But all eyes are fixed on one object, a single hard drive labeled Season 1, The Beginning. Christine's daughter, CB, sits quietly beside her attorney, her journal open on her lap. Christine herself looks calm on the outside, but keeps her hands clasped tight, knuckles white. Across the aisle, Kody stares at the floor. The judge nods toward the clerk. Play the footage. The lights dim. The courtroom projector hums to life. The first image appears. The Brown family, years younger, gathered around a kitchen table. The air feels nostalgic for a split second, until the audio starts. Kody's voice fills the room. If the kids want food, they'll smile for the cameras. Everyone contributes. Christine's breath catches. Janelle, sitting behind her, whispers, "Oh my God!" The camera zooms in on a little girl. 8 years old, eyes tired, pretending to laugh at one of Kody's jokes while glancing toward the production crew. Behind the scenes, a producer says softly, "We've been rolling for 10 hours. Should we stop?" Kody replies coldly, "No, we're almost done." A wave of unease spreads across the courtroom. People shift in their seats. The footage continues. It shows Kody negotiating directly with TLC executives in a Flagstaff hotel. "The kids don't need contracts," he says. "They're part of me. Family content sells because of me," he chuckles. The executive nods. A handshake seals it. And just like that, the entire audience sees the lie. The family show that was never really a family business. It was Kody's empire built on everyone else's silence. Christine lowers her head, whispering to herself, "He sold their childhood." As the footage rolls on, a younger version of Christine can be seen arguing with Kody in their old living room. "You're pushing them too hard," she says. "They're exhausted." Kody snaps back. "You don't understand television. This is how we survive." The video abruptly cuts. Gasps echo around the room. The judge glances at the technician. "Why did it stop?" The technician swallows. "There's a deleted section, Your Honor, but it was recovered by TLC archivists late last night. The lights flicker again, and the missing segment begins. It's night. The camera is shaky, like someone filming in secret. A small group of the Brown kids, including CB, are sitting in their room, whispering. One of them says, "I don't want to do this anymore." Another replies, "Dad said if we stop, we ruin everything." And then a soft, terrified voice. "What if we already did?" The courtroom falls silent. CB covers her mouth, tears welling. She whispers to Christine, "I remember that night." Kody's attorney stands abruptly. "Your Honor, this footage violates our prior agreement with TLC. It's emotionally manipulative and irrelevant." The judge glares. "Irrelevant? This goes to the heart of coercion, Mr. Dalton. Sit down." Kody's jaw tightens. For the first time, he looks afraid. Truly afraid. The prosecutor turns to the jury. "This is not about one scene. It's about a decade of deception, a pattern of exploitation masked as family unity. And it started from day one. CB is called to the stand again." Her voice shakes as she begins. "When we filmed that scene, I was told if I didn't do it, our show would get canceled and Dad would blame me. I didn't even know what a contract was. I just wanted to keep my family happy." She pauses, glancing at Kody. "But happiness on camera isn't real. It's performance." Her words hang in the air like smoke. Impossible to ignore. Impossible to clear. The lawyer hands her a photo. "Do you recognize this?" She nods. "Yes. That's the day he made us reshoot the birthday episode because I didn't look excited enough. I cried between takes." The photo shows a cake, candles, confetti, and a child's swollen eyes. Kody leans forward, muttering, "You're exaggerating." The judge warns, "Mr. Brown, one more word and you'll be removed." But Kody can't stop. "You think this court knows what family sacrifice looks like? You think fame came easy?" His voice cracks, trembling between rage and desperation. Christine rises from her seat, unable to hold back. "Sacrifice?" she shouts. "You turned your children into employees and called it love." Gasps erupt. The bailiff moves forward, but the judge lifts a hand. "Let her speak." Christine's voice wavers. "Do you remember what you said the night TLC renewed the show? You said, 'They're not kids anymore. They're content.'" Kody's face drains of color. Robin sobs quietly beside him. The judge bangs his gavel. "Order, order!" But there's no order left. Only revelation. The prosecution plays one final clip before adjournment. It's short. A few seconds of footage filmed by mistake during a lunch break. Kody counting stacks of cash, laughing and saying, "If they only knew what this show really pays." The screen goes black. For several long seconds, nobody moves. Then the judge says, "This court will recess until tomorrow morning." TLC's financial documents are hereby subpoenaed. Christine exhales. trembling. CB wipes her eyes and whispers, "It's finally out." As Kody gathers his papers, a shadow crosses his face, something between guilt and fury. He turns toward Christine and says coldly, "You think this ends with me? You have no idea who signed off on those checks." Christine freezes. "What do you mean?" He smirks faintly. "Ask your favorite network who really owned us." The camera pans out, leaving the entire courtroom in stunned silence, because Kody just hinted that the exploitation might go far beyond the family. All the way to TLC itself. The courthouse parking lot is filled before sunrise. Journalists, camera crews, and even old fans of the show line up along the barricades, all waiting for what's being called the day the network faces the mirror. Inside, the tension is suffocating. The walls themselves feel like they're listening. Christine sits with her daughter, calm but visibly shaken. Across the room, Robin clings to her purse, whispering nervously to her attorney. Kody, however, looks different today. Distant, detached, like a man watching his own downfall in slow motion. The judge clears his throat. Court will now review the newly submitted evidence. Internal TLC email correspondence dated from 2010 to 2022. A hush falls. The prosecution steps forward. "Your Honor, these emails were obtained legally through subpoena. They show a coordinated pattern between Kody Brown and TLC executives, one that deliberately classified the Brown children as uncompensated participants to avoid union and child labor laws." Kody's lawyer instantly objects. "Speculative and defamatory. Overruled," says the judge. The lights dim again, and the first email appears on the courtroom screen. From Exec, Producer, TLC Legal Department, to Kody Brown. Subject, Child Payment Clause. Per our discussion, we will omit minors from the payment roster. TLC will rely on your verbal confirmation that all parties are compensated fairly within your family structure. A gasp ripples through the courtroom. The lawyer clicks to the next email. From Kody Brown to Exec. Producer, confirmed. As patriarch, I'll allocate family earnings accordingly. TLC can list me as sole signatory. Christine grips the edge of her table. Janelle, sitting behind her, mutters, "He knew." He agreed. And just like that, the illusion of ignorance shatters. CB turns toward her father, whispering, "You chose this?" Kody looks away. The lawyer continues, showing another message, this time from a producer who raised ethical concerns. From TLC producer Mark Jensen to TLC Legal. I'm uncomfortable with minors filming 10-hour days without direct pay. This could violate child labor guidelines. Response. Noted. Please refrain from written concern. Discuss verbally going forward. That line, discuss verbally going forward, hangs heavy in the air. Everyone knows what that means. The judge leans back. It appears the network will need to explain this. Christine's lawyer turns to the witness stand. "We call Janelle Brown." Janelle walks up, steady but emotional. She takes the oath and looks at Christine, then Kody. "I was part of it. I didn't understand how bad it was back then." Her voice cracks. "We thought the money would help the family. Kody told us the kids were getting their share. For school, for savings, but he never showed us the numbers." The lawyer asks gently, "And when did you find out that the kids weren't paid?" "Last year," Janelle whispers. "When I saw a bank ledger during Christine's audit, there were no child accounts?" "Nothing." Kody folds his arms, muttering under his breath. Janelle glares at him. "You told me they were covered, Kody. You lied to me too." The judge intervenes. "Mr. Brown, if you speak out of turn again, I'll clear this courtroom." But before the tension can cool, Robin suddenly stands up. "I need to say something." Her lawyer whispers for her to sit, but she refuses. "No, I can't keep quiet anymore." The judge nods reluctantly. "You may speak." Robin steps forward, trembling. They're blaming Kody for everything, but he didn't act alone. TLC told us if we wanted to stay on air, we had to follow their system. They said paying the kids would complicate taxes. I believed them." Christine looks at her, eyes cold. "You believed it because it benefited you." Robin breaks down, tears streaming. "You think I didn't feel guilty? Every time one of the kids cried, I told them it would all be worth it someday." Her confession lands like a stone in water, rippling, unavoidable, painful. But then Christine rises slowly. "You say you felt guilty, Robin, but guilt doesn't deposit money. Where's the trust account you promised for their future?" Robin can't answer. The room fills with silence again. The lawyer returns to the projection. Let's continue with the evidence. They play an internal audio clip, a leaked recording of a 2018 conference call between Kody, TLC executives, and Robin.TLC exec. Season 13 renewals depend on how we spin the narrative. Family drama sells? Kody. I'll handle it. Christine's threatening to leave, but I'll reel her back. Robin. Should we mention the kid's contract? TLC exec. Don't worry. As Christine's lawyer smirks faintly. No further questions. But then, unexpectedly, Christine herself is called to testify. She walks to the stand slowly, steadying her breath. When this show started, I believed it was about love, about unity. But somewhere along the way, it became about control. Control over our image, our children, our truth. The lawyer nods. Did you ever see direct evidence of Kody using funds meant for the children? Christine's eyes glisten. Yes. I once found a check made out to a shell company, Brown Media Holdings. When I asked what it was, he said, production reimbursements. But that company was registered under Robin's name. Gasps again. Kody's lawyer tries to object, but the judge waves him off. Continue. Christine inhales deeply. That company received over $700,000 across 3 seasons. None of it went to the kids. The truth, once whispered behind closed doors, now thunders through the courtroom. CB lowers her head, tears streaking her face. We worked for them, she whispers, and they treated us like props. Christine looks straight at the judge. This case isn't just about unpaid labor. It's about stolen childhoods. The judge nods solemnly. Understood. Outside the crowd chants, cameras flashing, news headlines exploding. Sister wives under investigation. TLC and Kody facing federal inquiry over child exploitation claims. Back inside, Kody leans toward his attorney. We can fix this. I'll settle. But the lawyer shakes his head. It's too late. They've already referred the case to the state labor board. Kody's face drains of color. He whispers, They can't. They don't have proof. Just then, Christine's lawyer turns to the judge. Your Honor, we'd like to introduce one final piece of evidence. A hidden flash drive found in the TLC archives. The judge gestures. Proceed, the drive loads. A single audio file plays, Kody's voice angry and raw. You think they'll ever find out? They're kids, Robin. By the time they grow up, this'll be old news. We'll be millionaires, and they'll thank us. The courtroom gasps in collective disbelief. Christine covers her face. CB sobs quietly. Kody slumps back in his seat, finally realizing there's no spin left, no edit, no escape. Sometimes, the footage you thought would never surface becomes the footage that defines you forever. The judge looks at him coldly. Mr. Brown, this court will adjourn until tomorrow for final witness testimony. But based on the evidence presented, I strongly suggest you prepare for criminal charges. As Kody is escorted out, Robin trails behind him, whispering, We can't run from this. Kody mutters, Then maybe it's time someone else takes the blame. Robin stops in her tracks. What do you mean by that? Kody glances back with a chilling smirk. You'll find out tomorrow. And in that instant, everyone realizes the war isn't over. It's about to get personal. The morning fog clings to the courthouse like a warning. Reporters swarm outside, elbowing for camera angles, whispering the same word over and over. Kody's taking the stand. Inside, the gallery is already full. Even former crew members and production assistants have shown up, drawn by the rumors that today, everything changes. Christine sits beside her daughter, CB, her arm wrapped protectively around her. Janelle is behind them, eyes narrowed. Robin, noticeably paler than usual, hasn't spoken a word since yesterday. She clutches a rosary tightly, fingers trembling. Then Kody walks in. No sunglasses, no blazer, just a plain white shirt, sleeves rolled. He looks like a man ready to go to war, not to protect himself, but to burn everything down. Mr. Brown, the judge says, You have chosen to testify? Kody nods. Yes, Your Honor, it's time I tell the whole truth. No more edits. No more spin. He walks to the witness stand, eyes locked on Christine. Then Robin, then finally, CB, he swears the oath. His voice is low, controlled. Let me be clear, Kody begins. I didn't come here to play the victim. I came to clean house. Because what you've heard, that I was the only one making decisions, the only one who knew, that's not the full story. Not even close. Murmurs ripple through the room. The prosecution glares. Mr. Brown, are you suggesting others were complicit in your financial arrangements? Kody leans forward. I'm saying I wasn't even the one who set them up, gasps. Robin's hand flies to her chest. Christine's brow furrows. Kody continues. When TLC approached us about the show, I had one concern: keeping the family together. I was naive. I trusted people to handle the money, legal, contracts, distribution, but it was someone else who created the structure that allowed this mess to happen. He reaches into a folder. I have a signed memo from 2009, the year before we aired. It's from Mary Wallace, our original TLC business liaison. It says, and I quote, "In order to simplify tax and liability concerns, we will form a private LLC under a spouse's name for payments. Mr. Brown will be listed as patriarchal rep. The LLC owner will maintain discretion over dispersal." The lawyer snatches it and examines the signature. It's real. The courtroom erupts. The game has changed. Now it's not just Kody, it's the system. The judge silences the room. We'll verify authenticity. Continue. Kody clears his throat. Guess whose name was used on the LLC? It wasn't mine. It wasn't Christine's. Not Mary. Not Janelle. He turns his gaze. It was Robin. The room explodes into chaos. Reporters scramble. Christine slams her hand on the table. What? CB gasps audibly. Janelle stands up, stunned. Robin's mouth falls open. No, that's not true. That can't be true. Kody nods. It was your name. You remember, Robin. You said it would make you feel like you were finally contributing. That you'd protect the family's money. And I, like an idiot, agreed, Robin stammers. But I thought it was temporary. You told me you'd take it back later. Kody turns ice cold. I never did. And you never reminded me. Because you liked having the power. You liked watching them beg. Robin sobs now, shaking her head, repeating, no, over and over. The prosecution regains control. Are you now accusing Robin Brown of siphoning payments and failing to pay the children? Yes, Kody replies. And I'll go one step further. I think she created the second LLC in Arizona, too. The one used to refinance the Flagstaff mansion? Another wave of murmurs. Christine's lawyer quickly stands. We move to subpoena the Arizona LLC records immediately. The judge nods. Granted, Kody wipes his forehead. Look, I'm not proud of what I did. I was greedy. I was desperate to hold it all together. But I didn't forge signatures. I didn't hide ledgers. I didn't create the structure that let us get away with paying our kids nothing. Christine, voice trembling, speaks aloud from the gallery. You let it happen, Kody. That's just as bad. Kody turns to her. I did, and I'm sorry. CB stands. You weren't just a dad. You were our boss. And we didn't get to say no. The words slice deeper than any email ever could. The judge speaks again. This court is now in possession of evidence that suggests systemic failure, both personal and corporate. We will recess while these claims are investigated. Robin stands now, voice raw. I didn't know it would go this far. I swear, Janelle glares at her. But you let it. All those years we asked about the kids' funds, and you said, they're fine. Don't stir the pot. Robin collapses into her chair, sobbing uncontrollably. Outside the courtroom, news alerts explode. Sister Wives scandal deepens. Robin named as financial operator. Kody Brown testifies against wife in court shocker. Later that evening, as the courtroom empties, Christine sits alone with CB in the parking lot. You okay? She asks softly. CB nods. I feel like we finally cracked the truth open. Christine sighs. The worst is over. But just then, their attorney approaches. His face is tight. We just got a response from Arizona State Records. There's a second name listed on the LLC. Christine tilts her head. Another owner? He nods. Co-signer. Listed as Mary Brown. The world stops as CB whispers, what? Christine freezes. That can't be. But the lawyer holds up the document. And there it is. Her name, Mary. The one who swore she had no involvement. The one who said she knew nothing. What was Mary doing tied to the same financial funnel that robbed the kids? And why has she stayed silent all this time? The next day, no one walks into the courtroom the same way. Not Christine, not Janelle, not even the judge. The air is thick with betrayal, confusion, and one unanswered question. Why was Mary's name on the LLC that controlled all the money? Christine arrives early, jaw tight, fists clenched. Her daughter, CB, walks beside her silently, still reeling from the document discovery the night before. Janelle trails behind them, muttering under her breath. There's no way Mary knew. She wouldn't have let the kids go without. But Christine isn't sure anymore. Inside, Mary is already seated, dressed in black, her expression unreadable, not defensive, not guilty. But something deeper. a look of someone who's carried a secret too long and knows the moment has come. Before court can begin, Christine stands and asks for a private meeting in chambers. The judge allows it. Behind closed doors, away from the cameras and whispers, Christine and Mary face each other for the first time in weeks. Christine doesn't yell, doesn't accuse, just asks, "Why, Mary?" Mary takes